Stellar Blade is obviously controversial to some people. I would argue mainly just losers on Twitter. But this game, we played through the demo a few times now, and hopefully that doesn't date this video because the game is coming out very soon. I honestly think a lot of people are really missing out on this game. This game has a lot of great gameplay that I wanted to talk about today. I know a lot of the focus has been on Eve, and I think we will talk about that a little bit too. And we, Jill and I have another video coming up about some insane criticism of this game.
Would you say that this game is stellar, though?
I would say it's stellar, and it got my blade up.
Oh, good.
But I don't know, overall, I really thought this was a lot of fun. I want to talk about why and show some gameplay from the demo, because I really do think a lot of people are missing out on this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Stellar Blade is something that we're going to keep talking about. It is honestly really fun. It's impressed me a lot more than I thought it would.
It's going to be my game of the year.
What about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, though? That's the thing. I feel like there's a two-way tie right now.
I guess that's true.
So that's the frustrating thing. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. And I'm also wondering, what's your favorite RPG or JRPG series? That's my question of the day. But Jill, I think you had a lot to say about this game playing it, because you said that going into it, you weren't really sure what to expect, and you found almost the world building elements of it, like the lore and the world and the aesthetic, really interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was extremely interesting and also very inspiring. There's a lot of symbolism for biblical things, like your main characters are Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And you, at the end of the demo, fight a demon called Abaddon, which
Abaddon.
That's a demon from the Bible.
I believe it's a demon. It's a character from the Bible. It's
very interesting. It raises a lot of questions, too. I think this game is much deeper than just pretty girl with big butt. It's like you're going onto the earth, and you don't know exactly where Eve came from, if she used to live on the earth or not, but it kind of seems like she didn't. And the earth is completely overrun with these demonic creatures, and it kind of seems like you and Adam are the only ones left. Because we witnessed our friend Taki just straight up die, who, by the way, Taki was fine.
Is that how you actually pronounce her name? I don't know.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
I thought it might be like Tashi Station to pick up some power.
No, we watched the cutscene. Eve said Taki.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I was looking at something else in the cutscene a little bit sometimes.
Okay, that makes sense.
I did want to say here really quick to correct myself. Abaddon is a Hebrew term, and it's basically means destruction. It has a Greek equivalent, which is Apollyon, which I probably said wrong, which means destroyer. It appears in the Bible as a place of destruction and an angel. So both. I mean, it's used interchangeably, but I do find that interesting that, yes, there is a lot of symbolism that's kind of spiritual with the game, and our cultures have all kind of blended in some ways. So I find it interesting to see that this game is very distinctly Eastern, but with some Middle Eastern and likewise Western mythology mixed in.
I think it's really interesting, and it raises a lot of questions about the story. It seems like it's going to be much deeper of a story than first realized, like I think in a lot of the trailers, a lot of people just kind of thought, oh, this is just a game with a hot girl and you're going to fight some things, whatever. But I think it's going to be a lot more than that, and I think it's really well done. So
I do think that there are a lot of people who are trying this demo who are seeing that the gameplay is good. It's not just a generic hack and slash game. The only people I've seen say that it is are people who haven't tried it.
You said that this was the most fun you've had with combat in a game in a long time.
Yeah, actually, I think probably since trying Soulsborne combat. For me, I have a chronic pain condition in my hands. I have fibromyalgia, I have erythromyalgia, and I have some arthritis problems. Now, this is not a feel bad for me thing, but I will say that for me, hack and slash games can be a little difficult. Like I can only play them for so long, and then it starts to hurt my thumb and stuff. And while with Stellar Blade, I did eventually have to take a break, I didn't have to do that nearly as often as playing something like Kingdom Hearts 3 or 2.
You said that the gameplay reminded you of Kingdom Hearts, though.
It very much reminds me of a Kingdom Hearts-like hack and slash RPG gameplay mixed with elements of Souls-like, where parrying is important. Now, I will say in Kingdom Hearts, it is too, when you get to higher difficulties, using parries like reflect and dodge and stuff are more important. But I'm talking about just base gameplay. I think that just on normal setting, this game is still difficult. And there are ways to make it more difficult. Like, for example, you can put Eve in her skin suit, which one is freaking gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And she looks beautiful. I will just straight up say here, you know, you see the body physics of her as she moves around up and down. You see certain things bounce or jiggle. She has a little bit of fat on her, which is something you notice. Like she has
a little tiny bit of chub towards her lower belly, which makes her look more realistic as a human being. Because majority of women, even if you're really skinny, have a little bit of chub down there towards the lower belly area because your body naturally has a little bit more fat to help protect your uterus.
Yeah, your reproductive system's down there.
But like they put that in. They put a little bit of chub around the bottom part of her belly. They gave her hip dips. You know, like her boobs aren't just flying all over the place crazily. Like they actually look like if you were wearing a sports bra and they jiggle a little bit.
Well, and that's why to me it's frustrating to see, like, there was a lot of comments on Twitter and places like that. I've seen people say, like, well, where are they? Go to Twitter if you want to. That's where, like, the most loud-spoken people are. And some on YouTube, unfortunately. Like, IGN France was saying about it, too. And I think they said that it looked like it was designed by someone who'd never seen a woman, which is something we'll talk about in another video.
I completely disagree. She looks like a woman who's just in really good shape.
I agree with a comment that I saw that this is the ideal, like, an idealization of body type, like, that a lot of people really like. And yes, it is really difficult to achieve, but that doesn't mean it's impossible.
And that doesn't mean that no woman looks like that, especially,
or can look like that.
Because the basis of the game is like Eve was trained and is kind of like a soldier who's coming in here to help, you know, save the earth. You would think that a soldier wouldn't be out of shape.
Yeah, you'd think so. I think that a lot of, unfortunately, people, they just can't wrap their head around the concept that people like the physical design of the character. I don't know. There's a lot of things where the vibe brings you in, you know, like, and you see this with restaurants and theme parks, and nobody really bats an eye at it. You know, like, people aren't going to a Star Wars theme park because of the rides at first. They're going because of the branding. And I think that with Stellar Blade, it has some really interesting branding around it. I just think it's very unfortunate that there's a lot of people missing out on, like, the parry system and the dodging systems.
The beautiful music and graphics.
The beautiful music, the graphics, the world building, the story, like you said, the lore that, you know, I know even the game's creator said that if there's a sequel, they'll get more into even than now. Like, you're learning little bits as you go through the world even.
Just from playing the demo, which is about like an hour to an hour and a half-ish.
Probably like 2 hours if you suck like me. I was not very good for the first hour.
I felt like I had a lot of questions raised, and I was really hooked in. It's like when you read the first chapter of a book and you want to keep going. That's how I felt about the story in this game, and I haven't felt like that in a while with a lot of story-driven games, except for like things that I know I like Final Fantasy VII. I know I'll like because I played the original.
Yeah.
You know, but like with a new franchise that I've never seen before, I think that's really incredible that it just hooked me in so quickly, and I think it could hook a lot of people in pretty quickly because a lot of people love this post-apocalyptic type thing and having one hero that's kind of helping save the world, except it just happens to be a woman. And I honestly think that there's a little bit of sexism around it, that like, oh, we can't play as this woman because she's too hot, but we can play as the guy in God of War Ragnarok, Kratos, even though he's like the peak physique of man, but it's okay because he's a man.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, is like, it's okay when it's someone else. I think you're getting a little too far into that topic, though. That's, you know, not the main focus of this.
No, I know. It's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I think that this game really deserves a chance, regardless of what you feel about the main character's looks. I think she's an interesting character. She has a personality. She is meeting people in the game who have personalities as well. There's an interesting story going on, and I'm really excited to learn more about this universe. Yeah,
and I think also, too, like, it's something where you can have both. I really don't understand why you can't have both the pleasing aesthetics of the character, the beautiful aesthetics of the world, and the other characters around them, too. And also have an intricate story, interesting gameplay, which I think is unfortunate. People are not taking a look at that. Like, I think
the gameplay is immaculate.
I mean, I thought it was really good. I'm just not very good at it. But like the parry system, being able to dodge, you get an ability tree that you can upgrade over time, being able to teleport through certain attacks. There's a
training mode where you can learn how to do all of that stuff to get better. You got way better at the game when you did the training mode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of things in here that it's just, It really does remind me of the way that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was treated by a few, like, very prudish people, which is what I think it is. I think if you are so up your own ass that you're not willing to give something a chance just because either a few people are talking about the aesthetics more than the gameplay, or because you are off-put by sex, I think you're a moron. That's just my opinion. Like, I just think it's idiotic. But
also, Eve doesn't really do anything inherently sexy other than just wear clothing.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Other than just wear clothes. Like, she's not doing anything crazy. She's not spreading her ass cheeks or anything, you know? Even though I wish she would.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is, like, I just think a lot of people are very trying to earn points off this game by saying the right things. You know, like, and I don't think the outrage is manufactured like some people are saying. I've seen some people say, the outrage is manufactured. You're making up that people say this shit. It's like, look, I can't post pictures for you on here. I would love to go through and make fun of some people. YouTube, within reason, all right, not breaking the terms of service, but laugh at their opinions of some of the people who are pushing the narrative that you said. Judging this book off of its cover would be like me going on Rotten Tomatoes, reading the top couple of reviews, and deciding I'm an expert on the movie.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's so stupid.
You don't know what you're talking about. Like, you can absolutely say other people are saying this, but to base your entire viewpoint off of just what some random stranger said online without any evidence, without seeing gameplay, without anything, you're just seeing maybe a clip on Twitter of Eve's boobs jiggling as she goes down a ladder because someone thought it was pretty. That's your basis for dismissing this game? That's stupid.
It really annoys me with this game. You Google it, and everybody you see, like all of the top articles are just, Eve's too hot, it's unrealistic, blah, blah, blah. But nobody's talking about the gameplay or the story or the cosmetics, how amazing of a job they did with the physics in the game. Like, I think that the hair physics are extremely impressive. I personally prefer the short ponytail. I think the short ponytail is much more impressive than the long ponytail, but both physics are still really impressive. She can run into books, and, like, the books will just fall on the ground, and, like, they'll look realistic. Like, the game looks so insanely realistic
in an
to
anime,
the point it's mind-blowing.
In an anime style.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, it looks like a real world in an anime universe,
yes,
I would say. Like, I don't think it looks one-to-one like our world.
No, but it's like, that's how something would actually fall. Like, they got, like, gravity and physics correct to the point where I'm, like, actually extremely impressed, you know?
I just think it's unfortunate because this is the absolute epitome of judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
And I think that for video games, if you want to watch some gameplay, games are expensive. If you want to watch some gameplay and judge your interest based off of that, I understand. I will never be able to play every video game ever. But the problem I have is that people are basing their opinions off of, like, 5-second GIFs. You know, like, I'll see people post on Twitter, hey, look at this idle animation for Eve where she kind of shakes her butt a little bit. Oh, and then people are like, oh, this is Gooner stuff. And it's like, I even saw someone saying, like, you know, the difference between this and Nier, or the difference between this and Bayonetta, it's like, shut up. People were doing this to Bayonetta and Nier too.
They were.
They absolutely were. You know, like they were saying, except back in the day, you know, before even that, it was the hardcore radical religious people that had a problem with it, and now it's the opposite group.
Yeah.
And I find it very sad that we've slid backwards so far.
That women are no longer allowed to show their bodies.
And that this artistic piece, you know, isn't allowed to exist without being called all these names.
Yeah.
And people aren't even willing to try
Which
it.
that's what it is. It's an art piece.
And there are good, you know, like there's good movement, there's good gameplay, good world building,
amazing
good story,
outfits,
like we talked about in here, that people are just straight up missing out on.
There's cosmetics, like for people who like fashion. You know, there's a lot of really good, like, fighting elements. There's even a gun to shoot things with. I think it's so mind-blowing and amazing. It's a really fun game. I'm really excited about the whole thing coming out soon, and I can't wait to play it. I guess it just kind of makes me sad that people aren't giving a game like this the time of day, when this is the kind of game it seems like a lot of gamers have been begging on their knees for a long time. A single-player driven experience, fun, complete game without a ton of microtransactions.
And with a ton of cosmetics in the game, earnable stats in the game. You know, it's just in the game. You know what, honestly, even if they did want to add like a costume pack down the road, I think they said there's something like 30 costumes in the game already.
That you can unlock, yeah.
Just straight up. I mean, it's like how Insomniac does Marvel Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you don't see that enough, I don't think.
No, it's incredible. And this game also has a lot of Dark Souls vibes to it. Like, you go to a camp and sit down and it respawns all the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like how Dark Souls is, where you sit down at the bonfire and then the entire thing resets. It's really interesting.
They did a really good job with the vibes of that, I think, and it's really unfortunate to see, like I said, I mean, I'll say it for the last time, it really is the absolute epitome of judging a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, well, I don't like this aesthetic, or I don't like, you know, the way people are responding to this aesthetic. It's basically like, I don't like that other people are horny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very prudish people who I think are trying to score points with other people.
And who are really angry for no reason.
By being against something. And, you know, Nate put it best. Nate's on some of my other channels, like Degenerate Plays, where we're actually thinking about playing through this game. That's our Let's Play channel, so if you want to check out that channel, it's in the description down below. But Nate said it best. The other day, he's one of my best friends, we were talking, and he said that he thinks a lot of the outrage around things like this is because people in the West have it so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, they have very few real problems. They worry about making enough money, but for the most part, they have a roof over their head, you know, like, they're not in a war. They've got it They've got it pretty fine.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people go on the internet and they make up like a demon to go after.
Yeah.
And I really do think that this game is kind of on the receiving end of that.
People crave something like that to go after for some reason.
And I think it's really unfortunate, but it doesn't seem like it even bothers the game's creator.
Which is a good thing.
I think is good, because he basically just said people can fuck off. He said it in a very nice way. He just said, I get it won't be for everybody, but I don't care.
Also, his wife helped with the game.
I don't know how much she helped with the game. I know she is a character designer and an artist, and I know that she has worked in vicinity of him. I couldn't find any information of how much or how little she contributed to this, so I want to add that.
But I would imagine that he must have talked to his wife about it and showed his wife it, and she probably said, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would it make it into the game?
That's
right?
why it's silly to me when people are saying stuff like it was designed by someone who's never seen a woman, which, by the way, his wife is gorgeous. So,
oh, yeah.
I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. I do want to talk about this at least one more time soon, because there are some very insane criticisms I want to take a look at specifically, like specific tweets, statements, things from like IGN and all these other places that I think are just idiotic. But
I can't wait to play the full game and talk about how incredible it is. I am really excited about it. I love that, like, it definitely has those Dark Souls vibes, like I said, where like all of these different enemy types, they have different patterns that you have to watch.
And you'll probably see that in some of the gameplay we show, sometimes I'm not very good because you have to learn those patterns.
Yeah, you have to learn the patterns by encountering the enemies. And I think it's really interesting and really well thought out. It's not just a sit there and mash game, it's a sit there and think game. And as a woman, I am extremely excited for this game.
And also, as a man who loves women, me too.
that has a main character that is a woman too. Because like I feel like, you know, we got a lot of games that have main character women, but recently I feel like we haven't gotten that many. And I'm really excited for Stellar Blade because of that. Because I just love playing as a woman main character. You know, for obvious reasons.
And normally I don't like things that just make people mad, like just because. But it in the words of Thanos, it does put a smile on my face to see some people so up in arms about nothing at all. You know, because it's these same people are the ones always talking about how privileged you are, how privileged you have it, and it's like, you must be the most privileged person on the planet
to be worried about something like this.
For this to be your main concern is bitching about some girl's butt in Stellar Blade. And not giving the game a chance based off of the merits of its gameplay, world, story, all of it.
It feels very old school to me. Like,
but with modern visuals.
Yes, yeah. It feels like somebody took the ideas of like RPGs from back, you know, a long time ago.
In the early 2000s, I would say, with like even things like Devil May Cry. I mean, they even had the Dante Must Die type challenge mode in here with the skin suit, which removes your shield, so then it makes the game harder.
But then they made it now.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm so excited about it. I want more games like this.
And I think that this game will do really good. I think that the people who have been attacking it are just going to boost its sales. And I think it's funny to see people do this over and over again. With anything, I will just say, mildly political, religious, sexual, anything, they lash out so hard against it that a ton of people because they're like, well, why shouldn't I try this thing? We'll go try it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just doing the opposite.
You're giving it more publicity. Yeah.
And I kind of think that's funny. So let us know what you think in the comments down below. Jill, do you want to say anything about how people can support us? We've got other channels. We've got maybe a store for people who like fashion.
Oh, well, if you like women and you like things like that, I have a store called cosmobunny.shop where I will take comic books and manga that I find that are really, really damaged. It can't be sold in stores, and I'll recycle them into like coasters and trays and keychains and stuff like that. And then I also make handmade beaded jewelry, which is awesome. And like I'll take commissions on both of those things, so I can take commissions on like if you wanted a specific kind of coaster, I could try to find something that would work for that, or if you wanted a specific kind of necklace, I would try to make something that worked for that. And I think it's really fun and exciting, and I hope you guys go check it out, because I also have a awesome discount code. It is in all caps DJAY123, and that's 10% off your order, and also it works as our Fortnite creator code.
Yeah, so if you want to help support this channel, there's a lot of ways to do that. We will be talking more about Stellar Blade. We'll be talking more about other games. Pretty soon on Degenerate Plays, our Let's Play channel, we're actually going to be playing through Final Fantasy VII Original. So lots of fun stuff coming up for us that I hope you'll join us on. Also, this game comes out 3 days before our anniversary?
After our anniversary.
After our anniversary, that's right. I was thinking the opposite way.
That's okay.
Well, I'm in trouble now.
Silly Bob.
Let us know what you think down there in the comments. Have a fantastic day.
As always, everyone, stay...
Shway.
Shway!